Good morning. So continuing about our subject about davening, there are those who say that since we did not write tens of letters and made a tumult in commotion by Verbrengens regarding the concept of davening, as much as is done regarding Miftzoyim, it's a proof that we do not have to be involved with the concept of davening. In other words, some people think that there's the seventh generation, and the Rebbe, and it's about Miftzoyim, and it's about Miftzoyim as we give married people with mitzvahs in public. We do tefillin with people and do mezuzah and give out Shabbos candles. That's what we're talking about a lot. And since we didn't mention it so much, maybe davening is not so important. The truth is, there are tens of letters and many Verbrengens of the previous Rebbe, and he makes a big commotion about davening. This is so by the Rebbe Rashab as well, the fifth Rebbe. So what's the excuse for not being involved with what's called the avoid of davening, the service of davening, connecting to God when you pray, when you say the Shachris? Well, pray is not the exact definition, but davening is more like when we say the words in the Siddur and we connect. So what's the excuse? Someone's not involved. Now is not the proper time to negate such silliness and stupidity, especially since we are in a holy place. Certainly, this is so, since such things we do not even have to speak about in public domain. Okay, so that was, in other words, the Rebbe is saying, if somebody thinks that it's not so important, it's silly and stupidity, it's obviously taking davening taking davening seriously a very important part of service. Okay, number 2, during the time that one is in the middle of a void of davening and is standing as a servant in front of his master, he must not think about anything else, not even Miftzoyim. Right? This is unlike those who think that the void of davening is something that only applied a long time ago in the past. So some people think the main thing, as I said before, is Miftzoyim, and you want to be a big chassid of the Rebbe. How many tefillin can I get every single week? And I'm a really chassidish guy, and look how much nachas. You're right. I'm not taking away from you. That is a huge thing to give you a free time on Friday afternoon, put on the film with people. That's great, but don't think that's the main thing, right? As the known saying of the Baal Shem Tov goes, that one who reads the Megillah as something the past has not fulfilled his obligation. These people dress up in a silk kapota. That's the long form of clothing the Hasidim wear, the long black coats. They wear a silk one, pretending to be an old chassid of the Alter Rebbe, since he does not have his own existence. His whole existence is that of a chassid of the Alter Rebbe, and the Rebbeim demand of him to spread chassidus, so he's only involved in spreading chassidus. But that's not the way it's supposed to be. Okay. So last one, I'll get ready for the davening. So get ready for the chassidus shir. So why aren't people involved in what we call the avoid of davening? What's the reason why? Anyone want to take a guess? No, what do you guys say? Why don't people daven?
It's difficult.
Difficult? What do you say?
People daven.
Yeah, I don't mean just read the words. I mean really daven. Like take your siddur, start thinking.
They get used to it after a while. They just keep saying it.
So let's see what he says. There are those people who mistakenly say that since the sixth Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe, demanded us to learn Torah, spread Chassidus, and help another with Avos Yisrael, you should love Hashem your God. Therefore, we only need to have self-sacrifice for these things. However, when it comes to the concept of davening and the service of davening, that applies to the era where they wrote the Kuntres Tefillah. That was a sefer from the Rebbe Rashab many years before. Kuntres Avodah, a pamphlet about serving God, or at least during the lifetime of that Rebbe. However, nowadays, since the whole concept does not apply, in other words, the Rebbe Rashab put a very big emphasis on davening. So people will say, it must have applied back then, in the fifth Rebbe's time. But in our time, it doesn't apply. Those who say this pretend not to know that the one who printed Kuntres HaTefillah, Kuntres Avodah, and added the instruction, divided the chapters, and made summaries with many letters was the Frierdiker Rebbe. So the Rebbe is saying, first of all, who's the one who divided it up and gave instructions to learn it was the sixth Rebbe. The explanation that we find, many who say that nowadays we have to be involved in other parts of Torah mitzvahs, but now with the service of davening, we were already given the written Torah, which even the Tzaddukim agree with. You are lazy, just lazy. Therefore, you say, let us go out and sacrifice to Hashem. Since one is lazy, doubly lazy, you are lazy, just lazy, and it's not benefiting to say that he is lazy to daven. So the smart one comes up and says with the idea. Comes with an idea. He will say that since the Rebbe demands of us to have self-sacrifice for another Jew, we must only do this. Let us go out, sacrifice Hashem, and automatically we cannot be involved in the service of davening. In other words, this person is saying, we have to save the world and everything, so I don't have time to daven, I don't have time to, I'll just go out and save the world. However, we must know that this comes from, you're lazy, just lazy. We're simply too lazy to be involved in the way of davening. Therefore, we shout and have to have self-sacrifice. And we say, the reason I can't daven is because I'm busy saving the world and putting out the film with people. But it's laziness. Davening is only that the soul leaves to go to godliness, and he claims that we would not have to have self-sacrifices. We have to give away the animal soul entirely. Okay, so just a little bit on davening, that the Rebbe is clearly of the opinion that it's something that applies in our generation as well, and it's not that our service is just to do miftzoyim and come, we'll daven quick and not so much time, spend so much time learning, and that really, if we really want to have a true effect on people, like we had the Yom Yom a few days ago, a person has to take Shachris, Mincha, Ma'ariv seriously every day, Krish, Mashalamita, and that makes it the mitzvahs that he does are with excitement and fervor, and really, he's able to affect on another person. Okay.
Yeshiva Torah Ohr of North Miami Beach.